Picture a still lake at dawn, its surface a perfect mirror, reflecting the chaos of a brewing storm above. The clouds churn, lightning flickers, yet the water remains unrippled, unshaken. That lake is you, or at least it can be. But how often do you let the storm within shatter your calm, turning ripples into waves that drown your peace? In the heat of a moment, with a sharp word or a raised voice, you've unleashed chaos, not just on others, but on yourself. This is the battle we face every day, the struggle to stay calm no matter who you're dealing with, no matter the tempest they bring. Welcome to the storm within, the first step in uncovering the secret to unyielding tranquility. You're here because you've felt the sting of reactivity, those moments when emotions hijack your better judgment, fueling conflict and regret. Let's dive into why this happens, why your inner storm rages, and how to still the waters of your soul. Feel the urgency now. You can master this. You must. Imagine this. You're in a conference room, the air thick with tension, deadlines loom, tempers flare, and your colleague, let's call him Mark, throws a barbed comment about your latest project. If you'd planned better, we wouldn't be in this mess, he snaps, his tone dripping with blame. Your chest tightens, heat creeps up your neck. Before you can think, words shoot from your mouth like arrows. Maybe if you'd contributed anything useful, we'd be ahead. The room falls silent, but the damage is done. Eyes dart between you and Mark. The meeting spirals, voices rise, and what could have been a moment of collaboration becomes a battlefield. You leave the room, heart pounding, replaying the exchange. Why did you snap? Why couldn't you hold your ground without breaking the peace? That night, as you sit alone, the regret gnaws at you. You see it now. Your reaction wasn't about Mark's words. It was about the storm within. His criticism struck a nerve, a hidden doubt about your own worth, and you let it ignite a fire. But here's the lesson, mirrored in the image of a still lake reflecting the storm. Your calm is your power. Had you paused, breathed, and let his words pass like thunder over water, you could have responded with clarity, not chaos. You could have mirrored the lake, unshaken, reflecting the storm without becoming it. The key is to recognize that reactivity is a choice, and in that pause, you reclaim control. Now picture yourself at home after a long day. Your child, barely 5, is in the throes of a tantrum, screaming over a toy you said they couldn't have. Their cries pierce through your already frayed nerves. "I hate you," they wail, flinging themselves to the floor. Exhaustion and frustration collide within you. You snap, raising your voice. "Stop this nonsense right now. You're driving me crazy." Their sobs grow louder, and suddenly, you're both caught in a cycle of frustration, two storms feeding off each other. You walk away, hands trembling, guilt washing over you. What just happened? Why did you lose it over something so small? As you cool down, the image of the still lake returns. Your child's tantrum was the storm above, chaotic and loud, but your reaction was the wave that broke the surface. You let their emotions ripple through you, disrupting your calm. But what if you had mirrored the lake? What if, instead of reacting, you had knelt down, breathed, and spoken softly, absorbing their storm without becoming it? The lesson here is clear. Emotional reactivity turns small sparks into wildfires. To stay calm, you must see the storm for what it is, temporary, external, and choose not to let it shatter your inner peace. That choice is your strength. Let's step back and look at the heart of the struggle. Why do you react? Why does a single word, a fleeting glance, or a child's cry have the power to unravel you? It's because beneath your surface lies a hidden current, unresolved fears, old wounds, unspoken doubts. When someone challenges you, like Mark in that meeting, they don't just speak to the present, they echo something deeper, a whisper of inadequacy or rejection you've carried too long. Reactivity isn't about them. It's about the storm within, a tempest of emotions you've yet to tame, like a lake disturbed by a pebble. The smallest trigger can send waves crashing through your calm. But consider this. What if the lake didn't ripple? What if it held its stillness, reflecting the storm without bending to it? That's the secret you're reaching for. Reactivity disrupts calm because it hands your power to the external, to words, actions, or emotions that aren't yours to carry. It fuels conflict because it builds walls where bridges could stand. How many relationships have you strained by reacting instead of responding? How many moments of peace have you sacrificed to a fleeting surge of anger or hurt? The truth is, calm is not the absence of storms. It's the choice to remain still amidst them. You are not the chaos above. You are the lake below. Own that power. Think about the aftermath of your reactions. When you snapped at Mark, the tension didn't dissolve. It multiplied. When you yelled at your child, their cries didn't cease. They intensified. Reactivity is a spark that ignites a cycle of conflict, a chain reaction where emotions clash and wounds deepen. It's like a river in flood, sweeping away reason and connection, leaving only debris in its wake. You react, they retaliate, and suddenly a moment of misunderstanding becomes a chasm. Why does this happen? Because reactivity is surrender. It's letting the storm dictate your actions instead of anchoring yourself in calm. But imagine a different path. Picture yourself as the lake, unmoved by the thunder above. The storm rages, Mark's criticism, your child's tantrum. But you don't break. You reflect their chaos without absorbing it, responding with clarity instead of heat. This breaks the cycle. Calm becomes a shield, not just for you, but for everyone caught in the tempest. Have you ever noticed how a steady voice can quiet a room? How a patient gaze can soothe a tantrum? That's the power of stillness. It doesn't just protect your peace, it transforms conflict into understanding. You hold the key to stop the flood. Will you use it? So, how do you stop the storm within from breaking free? It starts with a single, deliberate act, the pause. When the heat of a moment rises, when a colleague's words sting or a loved one's actions frustrate, stop. Don't speak. Don't react. Take one deep breath, slow and steady, as if you're drawing strength from the earth itself. Feel your feet on the ground, your heart slowing. In that pause, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. That pause is your lifeline. The moment you choose to be the lake, not the wave. Practice this daily. Set a reminder on your phone or write pause on a sticky note at your desk. When tension brews, let that word anchor you. After the pause, speak with intention, not impulse. If Mark criticizes your work, say, I hear you. Let's figure this out together. If your child screams, kneel to their level and say, I'm here. Let's calm down. The pause doesn't just save you from regret. It builds a bridge over conflict. Start today, one breath at a time. You'll forge a calm that nothing can shake. Here's another tool to wield. Name the storm within. Reactivity often blindsides you because you don't see it coming. But emotions have names: anger, fear, shame. And naming them strips away their power. In the moment you feel that rush, heart racing, jaw tight, pause and label it. Say to yourself, this is frustration, or this is hurt. By naming it, you step outside the storm, becoming the observer instead of the victim. You're no longer drowning in the wave. You're watching it pass over the lake. Try this now. Reflect on a recent moment when you lost your calm. What did you feel? Name it. Write it down if you must. Then ask, why did this trigger me? Maybe Mark's words echoed a fear of failure. Maybe your child's tantrum mirrored your own exhaustion. Understanding the why behind the emotion helps you prepare for the next storm. Keep a small journal or note app for this. Each time you name a feeling, you weaken its grip. Over time, you'll see patterns, and those triggers will lose their sting. You're not just staying calm, you're mastering it. As we close this chapter of The Storm Within, Let's anchor ourselves in the truth we've uncovered. Emotional reactivity is the thief of your calm, the spark that fuels conflict and fractures connection. Whether it's a sharp word in a meeting or a moment of frustration at home, the storm within rises when you let external chaos dictate your response. But you've seen the alternative, the still lake, reflecting the storm without breaking. You've learned that calm is a choice, forged in the pause, strengthened by naming the emotions that threaten to unravel you. The key lesson is this: mastering your inner storm is the first step to staying calm, no matter who you're dealing with. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about choosing how you wield it. As we move forward, we'll build on this foundation, exploring how to deepen that calm in the face of even greater challenges. For now, hold this image close. You are the lake, unshaken by the tempest above. Let that guide you through every storm. Final mantra: be the lake, reflect the storm, but never break. 3,000-word narrative section for part 2 of a motivational narrative on the secret to staying calm. No matter who you're dealing with, picture yourself standing on the jagged cliffs of a storm-battered shore, the sea before you roiling with fury, waves crashing like 1,000 untamed beasts. The wind howls, tugging at your resolve, and yet, in the distance, a lighthouse stands unyielding, its beam cutting through the chaos, a silent promise of safe harbor. This is you, right now, in the tempest of human interaction. Life throws provocations at you like relentless waves, a cutting remark, a reckless act, a moment of disrespect. Your heart races, your fists clench, and the urge to lash out surges like a tidal wave. But what if you could stand as steady as that lighthouse, unshaken by the storm? Welcome to the anchor of awareness, the secret to staying calm no matter who you're dealing with. In this journey, you'll learn to recognize the triggers that threaten to pull you under and master the pause that keeps you grounded. You're not just surviving the storm, you're becoming the light that guides others through it. Let's step forward together and uncover the power within you to remain calm, to choose clarity over chaos. Imagine yourself behind the wheel on a hectic morning, the road a battlefield of impatience. You're late for an important meeting, your mind already racing with deadlines and demands. Suddenly, a car cuts you off without a signal, nearly grazing your bumper. Your blood boils. Your hand hovers over the horn, itching to blast out your frustration. Every fiber of your being screams to react, to let this stranger know the depth of your anger. The storm within you rages, mirroring the chaos of the road, a tempest of road rage threatening to sweep you away. But in that split second, something shifts. You remember the lighthouse, that steadfast tower in your mind. You breathe deeply, letting the air fill your lungs like a calming tide. Your grip on the wheel loosens. Instead of honking, you exhale. Instead of shouting into the void, you focus on the road ahead. The other driver speeds off, oblivious to your near eruption, but you remain steady. You've chosen not to be pulled into their storm. As your heart rate slows, you realize the meeting still awaits. Your day still holds promise, and this moment of conflict didn't define you. You anchored yourself in awareness, spotting the trigger, the sudden cutoff, the spike of rage, and paused before reacting. Like a lighthouse enduring a gale, you stood firm, guiding yourself to calmer waters. The lesson here is profound. Triggers are not your masters. They are waves crashing against your shore, testing your foundation. When you recognize them for what they are, fleeting, external provocations, you gain the power to pause. That pause is your beam of light, cutting through the fog of anger. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about choosing how to wield it. You didn't just avoid a pointless confrontation, you preserved your peace, your focus, your day. How often do we let a stranger's recklessness steer our emotions off course? Next time, remember the lighthouse. Breathe, pause, stay calm. Now once picture yourself as a student, sitting in a classroom buzzing with tension. You've poured hours into a project, every detail crafted with care, every idea a piece of your heart. present it to your teacher, expecting feedback, maybe even praise. Instead, their critique cuts like a blade. This lacks depth, they say, their tone sharp, dismissive. The room seems to shrink as your classmates' eyes turn to you. Humiliation burns in your chest. Your mind races with defenses. How dare they belittle your effort? You want to snap back, to prove them wrong, to reclaim your dignity. The storm inside you churns, a whirlpool of hurt and defiance. Yet, in that charged moment, you catch yourself. You see the trigger, the sting of their word, the fear of being seen as inadequate. You imagine the lighthouse, its steady glow piercing the darkness of your wounded pride. Instead of speaking, you nod. Instead of arguing, you take a breath and let their words settle. Later, in the quiet of your own space, you reflect. Was there truth in their critique? Could you improve? The pause didn't erase the pain, but it gave you room to choose your response. You approach the teacher privately the next day, asking for specific feedback. Their tone softens. They offer guidance. What could have been a clash becomes a bridge. You've navigated the storm, not by fighting the waves, but by standing firm as the lighthouse, unwavering in your resolve to grow. The takeaway shines clear. Awareness of your triggers, those raw, vulnerable spots, transforms conflict into opportunity. The insult wasn't the end. It was a signal to pause, to anchor yourself. You didn't just stay calm. You turned a moment of hurt into a step toward mastery. How many times have harsh words derailed you when a single pause could have changed everything? Let the lighthouse guide you. Recognize, pause, respond with intention. Let's dive deeper into this truth. The storm around you is not you. Life's provocations, the rude comment, the unfair judgment, the reckless act are waves crashing against your shore. They come and go, driven by forces beyond your control. But you, at your core, are the lighthouse built to endure, to stand tall even when the sea rages. Too often, we mistake the storm for our identity. We let a stranger's anger become our anger, a moment's frustration become our failure. Why do we surrender our peace so easily? Why do we let the chaos of others drown our inner calm? Think of the lighthouse. It doesn't fight the storm. It simply exists through it. Its light doesn't dim because the waves are fierce. Its foundation doesn't crumble because the wind howls. This is the power of awareness, recognizing that triggers are external, temporary disturbances. They are not your essence. When someone's words or actions ignite fury or doubt within you, pause and ask, is this storm mine to carry? More often than not, the answer is no. You are not the careless driver's impatience. You are not the harsh critic's disdain. You are the steady beam, cutting through the darkness, illuminating your own path. Anchor yourself in this truth. The storm may rage, but it cannot touch the core of who you are unless you let it. Consider the pause, not as a hesitation, but as a fortress. In the heat of conflict, when emotions surge like a river breaching its banks, the pause is your greatest weapon. It's the moment you step back from the edge, refusing to be swept away. It's the space where you reclaim control, where you choose whether to react or respond. How many regrets have been born from a hasty word, a rash decision? How many bridges have we burned because we didn't pause to see the other shore? Picture the lighthouse again, its beams sweeping slowly, deliberately, across the tumultuous sea. That deliberate pace is your pause. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. When you pause, you allow the fog of emotion to lift. You see the trigger for what it is, a fleeting spark, not a consuming fire. You give yourself time to align with your deeper values, peace over pride, clarity over chaos. The pause is your anchor of awareness, tethering you to calm when the world around you spins. It's a silent vow to yourself. I will not be ruled by the storm. I will stand as the lighthouse, guiding my own way. Embrace this power. Let the pause be your shield, your light, your path to unshakable calm. Here's how you begin to anchor yourself in awareness. Learn to spot your triggers in real time. Triggers are those moments or words that set your emotions ablaze. Someone's tone, a perceived slight, an interruption. They're unique to you, rooted in past experiences or deep-seated fears. The first step to staying calm is naming them. Next time your heart races or your jaw tightens, pause. Ask yourself, what just happened to spark this? Was it their words, their attitude? Write it down if you can, or mentally note it. This isn't about blame, it's about clarity. Once you've identified the trigger, breathe. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4. This isn't just a trick, it's a reset, a way to ground yourself before the storm takes hold. Picture the lighthouse in your mind, its steady beam reminding you that this moment doesn't own you. Then, decide, do I need to respond now, or can I let this pass? Often, you'll find the urge to react fades with those breaths. You've created space to choose calm over chaos. Practice this daily, in small moments of irritation, so it becomes second nature when the bigger storms hit. Awareness isn't built overnight, it's forged through consistent, mindful pauses. To make the pause your instinct, build it into your life as a habit. Start with a simple cue. Every time you feel a surge of frustration or anger, clench your fist lightly for a moment, then release it as you breathe out. This physical act signals your mind to stop, to anchor. Pair it with a mental image of the lighthouse, standing firm against the waves. Over time, this cue will become your automatic pause, a reflex that buys you precious seconds to think before acting. Next, and create a personal mantra for these moments. Something short, powerful, like I am steady, I choose calm. Repeat it silently as you breathe. This anchors your focus, pulling you back from the edge of reaction. Finally, reflect at the end of each day. Ask, when did I pause today? When did I react without thinking? Journal your answers if possible. This builds self-awareness, helping you see patterns in your triggers and progress in your calm. Remember, the pause isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about mastering it. You're training yourself to be the lighthouse, unmovable, guiding yourself and others through life's inevitable storms. As we close this chapter on the anchor of awareness, let's stand together on that storm-swept cliff once more. You've seen how recognizing triggers and pausing before reacting can transform chaos into clarity. Through the driver's near clash on the road and the student's battle with criticism, you've witnessed the power of staying calm, of choosing your response over being swept away by emotion. Philosophically, you've learned that the storm is not you. It's a force outside your core, unable to shake the lighthouse of your soul unless you allow it. Practically, you've armed yourself with tools to spot triggers and build the pause into your very being. The key lesson here is clear. Awareness is your anchor, and the pause is your light. No matter who you're dealing with, no matter the provocation, you hold the power to remain steady. As we move forward, prepare to explore how this foundation of calm can deepen, how it can shape not just your reactions, but your relationships and inner strength. For now, hold this image close. You are the lighthouse in the raging sea, your beam unwavering, your foundation unbreakable. Let this mantra guide you through every storm. Stand firm, shine steady. You are the calm. Picture a blacksmith's forge, the air thick with heat and the scent of molten steel. The hammer strikes, sparks fly, and with each blow, raw metal transforms into something unbreakable. That's you, right now, standing at the anvil of your own life. Every challenge, every heated exchange, every moment of pressure is the fire testing your mettle. Will you crack, or will you emerge stronger, sharper, unyielding? In this crucible of human interaction, the secret to staying calm no matter who you're dealing with isn't a gift. It's a skill, forged through deliberate practice and unshakable resolve. This is about forging unbreakable calm, about building practical strategies to maintain composure when the world around you burns. You're not just surviving the heat, you're shaping it into something powerful. Let's step into the forge together and craft a calm that no storm can shatter. Imagine you're a manager, sitting across from a client whose voice rises with every word. Deadlines missed, expectations unmet. His frustration is a tidal wave crashing against you. Your inbox is already a battlefield of urgent emails. And now this. Your pulse quickens, your jaw tightens. Every instinct screams to defend, to argue, to push back. But you don't. You breathe. You remember the blacksmith at the forge, steady amidst the flames. Instead of reacting to the heat of his word, you focus on the steel of the solution. I hear your concerns, you say, voice even as a still lake. Let's map out how we can fix this together. You ask questions, not to deflect, but to understand. You offer a timeline, a plan, a way forward. The client's tone softens, not because you've won an argument, but because you've built a bridge over the chaos. This isn't magic, it's mastery. Like a blacksmith tempering steel, you've taken the raw heat of conflict and shaped it with intention. You didn't let frustration wield the hammer. You did. And in that moment, you forged calm, not just for yourself, but for everyone in the room. The lesson here is clear. Staying calm isn't about ignoring the fire. It's about using it to create something stronger. When pressure mounts, don't fight the person, fight the problem. Focus on solutions, and the storm will pass. Now picture yourself at home, the day's weight still on your shoulders, and a simple disagreement with your spouse ignites into something more. Words sharpen, old wounds resurface, and the air between you crackles like a storm about to break. You feel the urge to defend, to prove your point, to win. But what is winning if it fractures what matters most? You pause like a blacksmith stepping back to assess the steel mid-strike. Instead of firing back, you listen, not just to the words, but to the hurt beneath them. I can see this means a lot to you say, softening your tone. You don't interrupt, you don't counter, you let them speak, and in that space, the heat begins to cool. This act of listening isn't surrender, it's strength. It's the hammer striking true, shaping the moment into understanding rather than discord. By choosing to hear over being heard, you temper the argument into a conversation. The lesson shines like polished steel. Calm isn't the absence of conflict, it's the presence of control. When emotions flare, don't wield words as weapons, wield them as tools. Listen actively, and you'll forge a connection that endures any storm. Step back for a moment and consider the nature of pressure. It's not your enemy, it's your forge. Every difficult person, every tense encounter is the fire that tests your strength. How often do you flinch at the heat, wishing for an easier path? How many times have you let a harsh word or a cutting tone shatter your peace? But here's the truth. You weren't made to crumble. You were made to be shaped, like steel in a blacksmith's hands. You grow stronger under pressure if you choose to. Calm isn't a fragile thing, a glass vase waiting to break. It's a blade, honed by every strike, every challenge. You don't find it in quiet moments. You build it in the inferno of life's toughest interactions. Think of pressure as the hammer, and your response as the steel. Will you bend aimlessly, or will you hold firm, letting each blow refine you? The secret to staying calm, no matter who you're dealing with, lies in this choice. You don't control the fire of others' emotions, but you do control how you stand in it. Embrace the heat. Let it temper you. When you do, you'll find that no outburst, no conflict, can shake the calm you've forged. Let's go deeper. Tempering steel isn't just about enduring heat. It's about balance. Too much fire, and the metal warps. Too little, and it remains brittle. So it is with your calm. Have you ever suppressed your emotions, thinking that's strength, only to feel them erupt later? Or poured out every feeling, only to regret the damage? Staying calm isn't about silencing yourself or unleashing everything. It's about mastering the middle ground. It's the art of cooling the steel at the right moment, of knowing when to speak and when to hold silent, when to act and when to wait. Picture yourself as both the blacksmith and the steel. You shape your responses with precision, cooling anger with patience, hardening resolve with clarity. This balance doesn't come naturally. It's crafted through practice, through trial and error in the forge of human connection. Why do some people unravel at the slightest provocation, while others stand unshaken? It's not luck, it's tempering. They've learned to balance emotion and restraint, to let the fire of conflict refine them without consuming them. So can you. Ask yourself, are you tempering your calm, or are you letting the flames decide your shape? When pressure builds, be it a difficult client, a frustrated loved one, or a stranger's sharp words, your first tool is the pause. Stop. Don't react in the heat of the moment, like a blacksmith stepping back to assess the steel. Give yourself a heartbeat to breathe. This isn't weakness, it's power. In that pause, ask yourself, what's the real issue here? Shift your focus from the emotion to the problem. If a client is upset, pinpoint their concern, delivery, cost, timeline, and address that, not their tone. If a loved one lashes out, seek the root, stress, fear, misunderstanding, and speak to that, not the surface anger. Make this pause a habit. Count to 3 silently if you must. Use that space to choose your words, not let them choose you. Write down a single sentence if you're too heated. I will respond, not react. Read it, then act. This small act of control is the first strike of the hammer, shaping your calm into something unbreakable. Practice it daily, and soon, the pause will be your instinct, your shield against any storm. Your second tool is reframing. When someone's words or actions threaten your peace, don't see them as an attack. See them as raw material. Like a blacksmith viewing rough iron not as useless, but as potential. View conflict as a chance to build something better. If a colleague snaps at you, don't think, they're against me. Think, they're struggling, and I can help. If a family member criticizes, don't hear blame. Hear a need for connection or clarity. This shift isn't about ignoring reality, it's about reshaping it. Start small. Next time tension rises, write down one positive intent behind the other person's behavior. Maybe they're stressed, not cruel. Maybe they're seeking help, not conflict. Then respond to that intent. Say, I can see this is important to you. Let's work on it. This reframing cools the fire before it burns you. It turns adversaries into allies, chaos into creation. Use it, and watch how your calm becomes a force that transforms every interaction. You've stood in the forge of pressure, hammer in hand, and shaped something extraordinary. Through the stories of the manager and the spouse, you've seen how calm isn't passive, it's active, a deliberate crafting of solutions over frustration, listening over defending. Through reflection, you've learned that pressure is your teacher, not your tormentor, and that balance is the art of tempering your responses. With practical tools like the pause and reframing, you've built strategies to maintain composure no matter who stands before you. The key lesson of this journey, staying calm is a skill forged through intention and practice, shines like polished steel. It's not about avoiding the fire, it's about using it to become unbreakable. As we move forward, carry this truth into the next chapter of your growth. The forge isn't done with you yet. There are more fires to face, more strength to shape. But for now, and stand tall, knowing you've begun to master the art of calm. Repeat this to yourself when the heat rises, when the hammer feels heavy. I am the blacksmith of my peace. I forge calm, and nothing can break it. Picture a towering tree, its roots deep in the earth, standing firm as a ferocious gale howls around it. The wind roars, branches sway, yet the tree does not snap. It bends, yielding just enough to endure the storm's fury. You are that tree. In the chaos of human interactions, when harsh words whip like wind and tempers flare like thunder, your strength lies not in rigidity, but in your ability to adapt, to feel, to understand. Welcome to a pivotal truth in the journey of staying calm no matter who you're dealing with. The art of bending without breaking. In this storm of life, where every encounter can test your patience, embracing adaptability and empathy becomes your shield. It's not about surrendering your ground, it's about choosing how to stand through the tempest. You've faced criticism that stings, authority that overpowers, and misunderstandings that burn. Yet here you are, ready to learn how to diffuse tension, not with force, but with a quiet, rooted power. Let's walk this path together, discovering how to bend like that tree in the gale, turning conflict into connection and chaos into calm. Imagine you're sitting across from a close friend at a small cafe, the hum of conversation around you. You've just shared a personal project, something you've poured your heart into, a piece of writing, perhaps, or a business idea. Your voice is still warm with excitement when your friend leans back, crosses their arms, and delivers a critique so sharp it cuts through the air. Honestly, I don't think it's going anywhere. It feels half-baked. The words land like a slap. Your chest tightens. Heat rises to your face, and a dozen defenses race through your mind. You could lash out, argue, or shut down, but you don't. Instead, you pause. You take a breath, feeling the storm of emotion inside you. Then, like a tree bending in the gale, you lean into curiosity. Tell me more, you say, your voice steady despite the sting. What parts didn't work for you? Your friend hesitates, caught off guard by your openness. Slowly, they unpack their thoughts, and as they speak, you listen, not to retaliate, but to understand. You see their perspective. They're worried you're overextending yourself, that you might fail and hurt. Their criticism, though harsh, comes from care. By the end of the conversation, the tension has dissolved. You've not only preserved the friendship, but deepened it, finding insights to refine your work. This is bending without breaking. You didn't let the initial gust of criticism uproot you. You adapted, choosing empathy over anger, and in doing so, turned a potential fracture into a bridge. The lesson here is clear. When words wound, don't brace for battle. Bend, ask, understand. Your calm becomes the force that disarms conflict. Now picture yourself in a stark conference room, the air thick with tension. You're part of a project team, and your leader, a figure of authority with a voice that booms and a habit of steamrolling ideas, dominates every discussion. Today, you've prepared a proposal, a solution you believe could transform the project's direction. But as you begin to speak, the leader cuts in, dismissing your idea before you've even finished. We've tried similar things. It won't work. Next. The room falls silent. Your colleagues avoid eye contact. Frustration churns inside you. Your effort feels wasted, your voice unheard. But you don't react. You don't push back with defiance or shrink into silence. Instead, you remember the tree in the gale, its branches swaying to survive. You adapt. You take a moment, then speak again, your tone calm and measured. I hear your concern about past attempts. Could we explore what specifically didn't work before? I'd like to see if there's common ground here. The leader pauses, surprised by your approach. Slowly, a dialogue opens. You listen to their past frustrations, and they begin to hear your reasoning. By the end, while your idea isn't fully adopted, a compromise emerges, one that incorporates elements of your vision. More importantly, you've earned respect. The room feels lighter, the tension diffused. Here lies the power of bending without breaking. You didn't challenge authority with force. You sought understanding, finding a shared path through empathy. Like the tree enduring the storm, you stayed rooted in your purpose while yielding just enough to maintain harmony. The takeaway echoes. Adaptability and empathy turn opposition into opportunity. Let's step back and consider this. Why does the tree survive the gale when a rigid post snaps? It's not weakness that saves it, it's wisdom. The tree knows a truth you must embrace. Strength is not in resistance, but in resilience. In the storms of human connection, when egos clash and tempers rise, your instinct might be to stand unyielding, to prove your point, to win. But ask yourself, how many battles have you fought only to lose the war of understanding? How often has your stubbornness built walls instead of bridges? Bending without breaking is not about losing yourself, it's about preserving yourself. When criticism or conflict strikes, think of your spirit as a river carving through stone, not by force, but by persistence, by flowing around obstacles. Empathy is your current, adaptability, your path. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to dominate to matter. By yielding with intention, by seeking to understand before being understood, you transform tension into trust. The gale may howl, but you remain rooted, unbroken, and stronger for it. Reflect on this. What storm in your life could you face differently if you chose to bend rather than break? Dive deeper with me. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm amidst crashing waves, its beam cutting through the fog. That light is empathy, your guide when interactions turn stormy. Too often, we see others as adversaries in moments of conflict, their words as weapons, their tone as attacks. But what if you shifted your lens? What if, beneath the surface, every harsh word or domineering stance hides a human story, fear, insecurity, or unmet needs? Empathy is not weakness, it's your anchor. It allows you to see the person behind the problem, to hear the unspoken pain in their criticism, the hidden doubt in their authority. When you bend with empathy, you're not giving up ground, you're gaining insight. You're building a connection that can withstand any gale. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened? Not to respond, but to feel. How might that change the next storm you face? Like the tree, your roots of calm grow deeper when you choose to understand. Let empathy be your light, guiding you through the fog of conflict to the shore of peace. When tension rises, your first weapon is the pause. Before you speak, before you react, stop. Take a single, deliberate breath. Feel the storm inside you, the racing heart, the urge to defend or attack. Acknowledge it, but don't let it steer you. This pause is your moment to bend, to choose your response instead of being swept by emotion. Ask yourself, what am I feeling and why? This simple question roots you, giving clarity amidst the gale. Then must shift to curiosity. If someone's words cut deep, don't fire back. Say, can you help me understand what you mean? If a leader or colleague overpowers, try, I'd like to align with your vision. Can we explore this together? These phrases aren't surrender, they're strategy. They invite dialogue, not destruction. Practice this daily. In small disagreements, pause and pivot to understanding. Write down one interaction each week where you bent instead of broke, and note how it felt. You'll see calm isn't passive, it's powerful. Conflict often blinds us to shared goals, but finding common ground is your bridge over turbulent waters. Next time you face opposition, whether it's a critical friend or a controlling superior, take a mental step back. Ask, what do we both want here? Maybe it's respect, success, or simply to be heard. Name that shared desire silently to yourself, then weave it into your words. For instance, I know we both want this project to shine. Let's find a way that works for us both. This isn't manipulation, it's connection. It shows you're not the enemy, but a partner in the storm. Practice this in low-stakes moments first. Disagreements with family or minor workplace friction. State the shared goal aloud, then listen. You'll be amazed how quickly defenses drop. Keep a mental tally. Each time you build this bridge, you reinforce your calm, You bend, yes, but you stand taller for it. As we close this chapter of your journey to staying calm no matter who you're dealing with, let's gather the wisdom of bending without breaking. You've seen how a friend's harsh words can transform into deeper understanding when met with curiosity. You've witnessed how a domineering leader's resistance can soften when approached with adaptability and empathy. Like the tree in the gale, you've learned that yielding is not defeat, it's survival, it's strength. It's the secret to enduring any storm of interaction. The key lesson rings true. True calm comes from bending with purpose, from choosing connection over conflict. You are not a brittle branch waiting to snap under pressure. You are rooted, flexible, ready to face the winds of criticism, authority, or misunderstanding with a quiet, unshakable power. Carry this with you as we prepare to explore the next layer of your calm, how to maintain it even when the storms grow fiercer. For now, stand tall in this truth and let it be your guide through every gale. Bend with purpose, your strength endures. Picture this, a mountain, ancient and unyielding, standing tall against the fiercest winds. The gales howl, the storms rage, but the mountain does not flinch. It remains rooted, steady, an enduring peace amidst chaos. That mountain is you, in this moment, as we reach the heart of our journey through the secret to staying calm. No matter who you're dealing with, we uncover the final piece of the puzzle, transforming calm into a lasting state of being, a force so powerful it not only anchors you but inspires everyone around you. You fought through tempests of doubt, navigated the jagged cliffs of conflict, and now you stand at the summit. But how do you make this calm your eternal foundation? How do you become the mountain that others look to when the winds of life threaten to tear everything apart? Let's carve this truth into stone. Enduring peace is not a fleeting emotion. It's a choice, a practice, a legacy. Feel the ground beneath you. It's time to build something unshakable. Imagine a boardroom turned battlefield. Deadlines loom like thunderclouds. A project teeters on the edge of collapse, and the team is fracturing under pressure. Voices rise, fingers point, and panic spreads like wildfire. In the center of this chaos stands you, the leader. Your heart races. How could it not? But your face is a mask of calm. You breathe. You center yourself. You remember the mountain, standing against the wind, unmoved by the storm's fury. Instead of joining the fray, you raise a hand. Silence falls. We've faced worse, you say, your voice a steady current cutting through the noise. Let's break this down, one step at a time. You assign tasks with clarity, acknowledge fears without feeding them, and guide your team through the crisis like a lighthouse piercing the fog. Hours later, the storm passes, the project is saved, and your team looks at you not just as a leader, but as a pillar. They saw your calm, felt its power, and it became their strength. This isn't fiction, it's a universal truth. Crises come in every form, whether in an office, a classroom, or on a battlefield of your own making. The conflict is always the same. External chaos threatens to unravel your inner peace. But when you stand as the mountain, when you choose enduring peace over reactive turmoil, you don't just survive, you transform the moment. The lesson here is clear. Calm is contagious. Like the mountain that shelters a valley from the wind, your steadiness becomes a refuge for others. You guide with clarity because you forge peace within, and in doing so, you inspire a ripple of strength that outlasts the storm. Now picture a different kind of tempest. A family gathering gone wrong, words are sharp, old wounds resurface, and a simple disagreement over something trivial spirals into a shouting match. You're in the middle, feeling the heat of anger from every side. It would be easy to snap, to let your own frustrations boil over. But you pause. You see the mountain in your mind's eye. It slopes untouched by the gusts of emotion swirling around you. You take a breath, deep and deliberate, and lower your voice. Let's step back for a moment. You say, not with judgment, but with a quiet resolve. You listen, really listen to each side, not to argue, but to understand. Slowly, the tension ebbs. Your calm becomes a bridge, connecting fractured hearts. By the end of the night, laughter replaces resentment, and harmony is restored, not through force, but through the enduring peace you embodied. This story resonates because we've all been there, caught in the crossfire of personal conflicts, where emotions run hotter than logic. The struggle to stay calm when dealing with loved ones is often the hardest of all. Yet, when you choose peace over reaction, you don't just de-escalate, you heal. Like the mountain that stands as a silent guardian, your calm demeanor becomes a sanctuary. The takeaway echoes the first story. Enduring peace isn't just for you, it's a gift you give. By staying rooted, you show others that storms of emotion don't have to destroy. They can pass, leaving stronger bonds behind. Let's dig deeper. What does it mean to transform calm into a lasting state of being? It's not about suppressing emotion or pretending the winds of life don't blow. No, it's about becoming the mountain, unshaken, not because you're immune to the storm, but because you've rooted yourself in something greater than the chaos. Think about it. A mountain doesn't fight the wind. It simply exists. Its strength forged over millennia of enduring every force nature could throw at it. So too must you forge your peace, not as a fleeting escape, but as a bedrock of your soul. How many times have you let a harsh word or a stressful moment uproot you? How often have you forgotten that the storm is temporary, but your foundation can be eternal? Calm as a lasting state isn't passive, it's active. It's the choice to stand firm when everything around you trembles. It's the discipline to breathe when your instincts scream to react. And here's the deeper truth. This enduring peace doesn't just protect you, it radiates, like a mountain casting a shadow of shelter over a weary traveler. Your calm becomes a beacon for others. They see you weather the gale, and they begin to believe they can too. You inspire not with words, but with presence. So ask yourself, are you building a foundation of sand, washed away by every tide? Or are you carving your peace into stone, unyielding and timeless? Let's reflect on the second half of our focus, inspiring others. Enduring peace isn't a solitary triumph, it's a shared victory. Picture a still lake, its surface unbroken even as the winds whip above. Drop a single pebble and watch the ripples spread, touching every shore. That's what your calm does. When you stand firm, when you refuse to be swayed by the tempests of conflict or criticism, you create waves of change. People notice. They feel it. Your team, your family, even strangers. They're drawn to the quiet power of someone who doesn't bend under pressure. Have you ever considered the weight of your influence? Have you realized that every moment of calm you choose plants a seed of possibility in someone else's heart? This isn't about perfection. Mountains bear scars, cracks from earthquakes, erosion from rain, but they stand nonetheless. Your peace will be tested and you may falter. But each time you return to your center, each time you choose to be the mountain against the wind, you show others it's possible. You become a living testament that calm isn't weakness, it's the ultimate strength. So let your peace ripple outward. Let it touch the angry, the anxious, the lost. Because in a world of endless storms, your enduring calm isn't just a shield, it's a revolution. How do you make calm a lasting state? It starts with intention. Every day, carve out a moment, 5 minutes, even to ground yourself. Sit still, breathe deeply, as if you're drawing strength from the earth itself. Visualize the mountain within you, its roots sinking deep, untouchable by the winds above. When stress or conflict looms, return to this image. Let it remind you that you are not the storm. You are the steadfast peak it cannot move. This isn't just meditation, it's preparation. You're training your mind to default to peace, not panic. Next, practice the pause. Before you respond to a heated word or a tense situation, stop. Count to 3. Ask yourself, will my reaction build or break? This tiny gap is your power. It's the space where you choose to be the mountain, not the wind. Finally, reflect nightly. Write down one moment where you stayed calm and one where you didn't. Learn from both. Over time, these small acts stack like stones, building an unshakable foundation. Enduring peace isn't born overnight, it's constructed, choice by choice. Inspiring others with your calm doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the quiet moments. Start by modeling peace in small interactions. When a colleague snaps, respond with patience. When a loved one vents, listen without judgment. Your steadiness speaks louder than any lecture. People don't need to be told to be calm. They need to see it lived. So live it. Be the mountain they can lean on. Also, share your process. If someone asks how you stay so composed, tell them about your daily grounding or your pause technique. Offer it as a tool, not a command. And remember to celebrate others' calm. When you see someone hold their temper or navigate a crisis with grace, acknowledge it. Say, I admire how you handled that. Your words reinforce their strength and ripple back to you. Inspiring others isn't about standing above them. It's about standing beside them, showing that enduring peace is a path we can all walk. As we close this chapter of the enduring peace, let's etch the lesson into our core. Transforming calm into a lasting state of being isn't just about surviving the storms of life. It's about becoming the mountain that stands against the wind, unshaken, inspiring others to find their own strength. You've seen it in the leader who guided a team through crisis with clarity, and in the individual who turned a family dispute into harmony. You've reflected on the power of a peace that endures, a force that ripples outward to touch every life around you. And you've armed yourself with tools to build this foundation, to make calm not a fleeting moment, but your eternal state. The key takeaway is this: enduring peace is your legacy. Choose it, live it, share it. Now, as we prepare to step into the next leg of our journey, carry this truth forward. The winds will blow again, but you are ready. You are the mountain, rooted in a calm that nothing can uproot. Let this be your guiding light, your unyielding resolve. Stand firm. Your peace is the shelter the world needs.